The red dust of Mars swirled against the reinforced windows of the Terran diplomatic station. Ambassador James Reed stood with his hands clasped behind his back, watching the sunset paint the desert landscape in deep crimson shades. 20 years of diplomatic service hadn't prepared him for what was about to happen. "Sir," his assistant Robert called from the communication console, "we're receiving a priority transmission from the Galactic Council. They're demanding immediate audience." Reed turned away from the window, his weathered face reflecting in the polished floor. At 63, he had seen humanity reach for the stars, establish colonies across their solar system, and make first contact with alien civilizations. But something about this transmission made his stomach turn. "Put them through to the main chamber," he ordered, straightening his dark blue uniform. The golden emblem of the Terran Empire gleamed on his chest, a rising phoenix surrounded by stars. The holographic projectors hummed to life, filling the chamber with the imposing figures of the Council's high representatives. 5 alien beings, each representing the oldest spacefaring races in the known galaxy, towered over Reed. Their forms flickered with a blue ethereal light. The central figure, Lord High Speaker Born, spoke first. His crystalline body structure caught the light, creating rainbow patterns on the chamber walls. "Ambassador Reed, we speak today with grave purpose." Reed maintained his diplomatic composure, though his heart raced. "The Terran Empire welcomes the Council's communication." "Your welcome is irrelevant," another council member interrupted. This one had 4 arms and gray skin that seemed to absorb light. "We come with demands, not pleasantries." Bourne raised a crystalline hand for silence. "Humanity's rapid expansion and technological development has become a matter of serious concern. Your species advances too quickly, too unpredictably. You build weapons you do not understand. You colonize worlds without proper protocols. You upset the careful balance we have maintained for 10,000 years." Reed felt his jaw tighten. "We have followed all established treaties. Treaties that you interpreted as you wished." A third council member hissed through what appeared to be a breathing apparatus. "Your kind takes guidelines as suggestions, regulations as challenges. Therefore," Bourne continued, his voice resonating through the chamber, "the Council has reached a unanimous decision. The Terran Empire will submit to protectorate status immediately. Your military will be disbanded. Your colonies will be administered by Council-appointed governors. Your technological research will be supervised by Council scientists." The blood drained from Reed's face, but his voice remained steady. "And if we refuse?" "You have 72 standard hours to comply," Bourne stated. "Should you reject these terms, the Council will be forced to implement containment measures. Your species will be confined to your home system by whatever means necessary." Reed's hand instinctively touched the emergency beacon on his wrist, a direct line to the Imperial Senate. "The Council should understand that threats against the Terran Empire—" "These are not threats, Ambassador," Bourne interrupted. "These are facts. 72 hours. Choose wisely." The holographic figures flickered and vanished, leaving Reed alone in the suddenly silent chamber. Robert rushed in, his face pale. "Sir, should I contact Earth?" Reed walked back to the window, watching as stars began to appear in the darkening Martian sky. "Send 2 messages. First, inform the Senate that I'm returning to Earth immediately for an emergency session." He paused, his reflection showing a grim smile. "Second, send a coded transmission to Admiral Stone. Tell her it's time to wake the ghosts." As his ship broke Mars orbit an hour later, Reed watched the red planet shrink behind him. The Council thought they were dealing with an upstart species that needed to be put in its place. They didn't know about the abandoned alien ships humanity had found and restored. They hadn't discovered the quantum technology research stations hidden in the asteroids. They had no idea about the Ghost Fleet. In 72 hours, they would learn that humanity didn't take kindly to ultimatums, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Imperial Senate chamber hummed with nervous energy. 300 senators from Earth and its colonies filled the curved rows of seats, their worried whispers echoing off the marble walls. Above them, Through the transparent dome, the lights of New Washington's skyline pierced the evening sky. Ambassador Reed finished presenting the Council's ultimatum. The chamber erupted in angry shouts until Senate President William Harris struck his gavel 3 times. The sound rang like thunder through the vast room. "We have 65 hours remaining," Harris announced, his deep voice carrying to every corner. "Before we vote, Admiral Maria Stone will present her military assessment." A tall woman in a black uniform stepped to the center platform. Her silver hair was pulled back in a tight bun, and her eyes carried the sharp look of someone who had seen the depths of space and learned its secrets. The room fell silent. "Senators," she began, touching the control panel. The air above her filled with a holographic display of the solar system. "The Council believes they know our military capability. They are wrong." Red dots appeared throughout the display, hundreds of them, hidden in asteroid fields and the dark spaces between planets. "This is the Ghost Fleet. For 15 years, we've been building ships using technology recovered from the ancient shipyards we found in the Kuiper Belt. Ships that no Council scan can detect." The senators leaned forward in their seats. Most had heard rumors about secret military projects, but few knew the true scale. "When we found those abandoned ships," Stone continued, "we didn't just copy their technology. We improved it. The Council races stopped innovating thousands of years ago. They became comfortable, complacent. But humanity, we looked at their ancient drives and made them better. We studied their weapons and found new ways to use them." She pressed another button. The hologram zoomed in on one of the red dots, revealing a sleek warship unlike anything in known space. Its dark hull seemed to bend light around it. "The Phantom-class destroyer," Stone explained. "Quantum engines that break their understood laws of physics. Shield systems that can absorb any known weapon. And guns," she smiled grimly. "Guns they won't see coming until it's too late." "How many ships?" someone called out. 543 combat-ready vessels. Another 200 nearing completion in our hidden shipyards. More than enough to remind the Council why humanity survived every challenge Earth threw at us. Reed stepped forward. "The Council expects us to surrender, to bow down and accept their control. They think we're children playing with toys we don't understand." He looked around the chamber. "I say we show them exactly how much we understand." The chamber erupted in cheers. Harris raised his hands for silence. "Admiral Stone," he said, "if we reject their ultimatum, can we win?" Stone's face hardened. "Sir, they don't know where our ships are. They don't know what we can do. Their entire military doctrine is based on technology that hasn't changed in millennia." She straightened her shoulders. "We won't just win. We'll rewrite their understanding of what's possible." Harris nodded and turned to the Senate. "The motion before us is clear. Do we submit to Council authority, or do we fight?" The vote took less than a minute. The glowing display showed the result, 300-0 for rejection. "Send the message," Harris ordered. "Tell them humanity declines their generous offer." As the senators filed out, Stone joined Reed by the chamber's great window. Below them, the city's lights rivaled the stars. "They'll come with everything they have," Reed said quietly. Stone watched a transport ship rise into the night sky. "Good," she replied. "That means they'll bring lots of ships for us to capture." Have you ever seen a Council admiral's face when they realize their superior technology just failed? She smiled. They're about to learn what humanity does best. The impossible. Commander Thomas Blake watched the tactical display aboard the defense station orbiting Europa. Hundreds of red dots appeared at the edge of Jupiter's system, the Council's first wave. Their ships emerged from faster-than-light travel in perfect formation, exactly as their ancient battle doctrines demanded. "Right on time," Blake muttered, checking his watch. The 72 hours had expired 10 minutes ago. Status of the shield network. All planetary shields at full power. His second-in-command, Lisa Porter, reported from her station. Quantum links stable. Defense grid online but inactive. She paused. They can't see any of it, sir. The Council fleet approached with overwhelming confidence. Their sensors showed only a few outdated defense platforms and some civilian installations. The trap was set. All stations, Blake commanded, his voice carrying to every hidden defense post in the Jupiter system. Maintain stealth protocols. Let them get nice and close. The Council ships moved into attack formation. Their lead vessels opened fire, expecting to easily destroy the seemingly primitive human defenses. Instead, their energy weapons splashed harmlessly against invisible shields. "They're quite rude," Porter commented. "Not even a warning shot." Blake allowed himself a small smile. "Let's teach them some manners. Execute Pattern Alpha." Across Europa's surface, hidden weapon platforms emerged from the ice. Quantum-linked defense arrays, synchronized through technology, the Council thought impossible, powered up as one. The Council fleet's sensors registered the threat too late. Concentrated beams of energy, guided by targeting systems more advanced than anything the Council had seen in millennia, struck 30 ships simultaneously. Their ancient shields, unchanged for thousands of years, failed instantly. "First volley successful," Porter announced. 27 enemy ships disabled, 3 destroyed. Their formation is breaking. The Council fleet scattered, their perfect formation dissolving into chaos. They had expected an easy victory over primitive humans. Instead, their sensors overloaded with readings they couldn't understand, detecting technologies that shouldn't exist. "Launch interceptors," Blake ordered. Small, sleek fighters emerged from hidden bays across Europa's surface. Unlike the bulky Council ships, these vessels darted through space like electronic ghosts, nearly invisible to standard sensors. "Sir," Porter called out, excitement in her voice, "we're picking up quantum signatures." Ghost fleet units decloaking behind the enemy position. 3 Phantom-class destroyers shimmered into view behind the Council fleet. Caught between the planetary defenses and humanity's hidden ships, the alien vessels fell into disarray. "Council Admiral requesting communication," Porter reported. Blake nodded. "Put them through." A holographic figure appeared, a tall, crystalline being radiating fury and disbelief. "What trickery is this?" the Council Admiral demanded. "These technologies, they're impossible." "Admiral," Blake replied calmly, "you're outnumbered, outgunned, and out of options. Surrender your ships, or we'll be forced to demonstrate just how many other impossible things humans can do." The Council Admiral's crystalline form flickered with anger. "This is not over, human. The full might of the Council will take about 6 hours to arrive." Blake interrupted. "And we'll be ready. Your choice, Admiral. Surrender now, or learn even more about human innovation." The silence stretched for 30 seconds before the Council Admiral spoke again. "We surrender. Wise choice. Power down your weapons and prepare for boarding. We're particularly interested in studying your ships." Blake turned to Porter. "Send in the engineering teams, and get me a secure line to Admiral Stone. She'll want to know what we learned from capturing these vessels." As human ships moved to secure their prizes, Blake watched the tactical display shift from red to green. The first battle had lasted less than 15 minutes. Humanity hadn't just won. They had shattered the Council's belief in their own superiority. "Sir," Porter said quietly, "do you think they'll send their whole fleet next time?" Blake looked at the captured Council ships, already being studied by human engineers. "I hope so," he replied. "We've got a lot more surprises to show them." Deep within the asteroid belt, hidden inside a hollowed-out space rock, Admiral Stone stood in the main laboratory of Research Station Alpha. Around her, dozens of scientists examined the captured Council ships. Holographic displays showed detailed scans of alien technology, while engineers took apart complex machinery piece by piece. "Show me what you found," Stone commanded. Dr. Jack Wilson, the lead researcher, brought up a 3-dimensional model of a Council ship's communication system. His eyes sparkled with excitement as he pointed to a glowing blue crystal at its center. This is their biggest weakness, Admiral. Every Council ship uses these quantum crystals for faster-than-light communication. They're incredibly advanced, but they all operate on the same frequency. Stone leaned closer to the hologram. All of them. Their entire fleet. Yes. Wilson nodded eagerly. They haven't changed this technology in over 5,000 years. Why would they? It worked perfectly, and no one could interfere with it. Until now. He pressed a button, and another hologram appeared, a device of human design. We call it the Quantum Scrambler. It creates interference patterns that match their communication frequency exactly. One device can disrupt Council communications across an entire star system. Stone smiled. Can you make more of these? Already working on it. We've converted 3 manufacturing levels to full production. But there's more. Wilson brought up another display. Their weapons, their shields, their engines, everything is standardized. 5,000 years of using the same technology made them efficient, but predictable. And vulnerable, Stone added. Exactly. Their ships are more advanced than anything humanity had 10 years ago, but they're all the same. No variation, no innovation. It's like they forgot how to think outside their very advanced box. The Admiral walked around the hologram, studying it from all angles. How long until the Council regroups and launches their main attack? Based on their fleet movements. Wilson checked his datapad. 4 days at most. They're gathering everything they have. Thousands of ships. Good. Stone turned to her communication officer. Send word to all Ghost Fleet commanders. Operation Thunderbolt is now active. Begin Phase 1. Across the asteroid belt, hidden shipyards hummed with activity. Engineers installed quantum scramblers on every human vessel. Combat crews studied the weaknesses found in Council technology. Supply ships moved through secret quantum corridors, preparing hidden staging areas for the coming battle. In her private command center, Stone met with her fleet commanders through secure quantum links. The room's walls displayed real-time movements of both human and Council forces across the galaxy. The Council thinks they know what to expect now, she told her officers. They believe we just have better shields and weapons. They're preparing for a straight fight. Commander Blake spoke up from his station near Europa. But that's not what they're going to get, is it, Admiral? Not even close. Stone highlighted several points on the galactic map. These are their main communication relay stations. When they launch their attack, they'll coordinate through these points. That's when we strike. She outlined the plan. The Ghost Fleet would split into small groups, each targeting a different relay station. The moment the Council fleet entered human space, they would find themselves cut off from command, their ships unable to communicate with each other. Divide and conquer, one of the commanders said admiringly. Exactly. Stone looked at each of her officers. Humanity survived on Earth because we learned to adapt. We took what nature threw at us and found ways to overcome it. Now we'll show the Council what happens when they try to cage a species that spent its entire history breaking free of limitations. As her commanders acknowledged their orders, Stone watched the tactical display tracking the gathering Council fleet. They thought their numbers would overwhelm humanity's defenses. Instead, they were gathering their entire fleet into one perfect target. Let them come, she murmured. The bigger their fleet, the harder they'll fall. Ambassador Reed stood at the window of his temporary office on the neutral trading station of Centauri Prime. 3 days had passed since the battle at Europa. And now he was about to play his part in humanity's grand strategy. The door chimed. Send them in, he called out. 5 alien diplomats entered, representatives of the younger races within the Council. Each of their species had joined the galactic community within the last 1,000 years, far more recent than the ancient races that ruled the Council. Thank you for coming, Reed said, gesturing to the seats around the conference table. I understand the risk you're taking by meeting with me. The first diplomat, a blue-skinned humanoid named Trull, spoke quietly. The Council elders don't know we're here, but we watched what happened at Europa. Your people did what we thought impossible. You beat their ships, another diplomat added, his scaled skin shifting colors with excitement. No one has done that in living memory. Reed activated a holographic display showing the battle footage. What you saw at Europa wasn't luck or trickery. Humanity has surpassed the Council's technology in many ways. We did in decades what they haven't done in millennia. We innovated. The diplomats watched the footage with intense interest. Council ships, believed invincible, disabled by human weapons. Perfect formations, scattered by technology that shouldn't exist. The Council forces will attack again, Reed continued. But this time, they'll bring their entire fleet. They'll try to crush us with overwhelming force because that's all they know, using their ancient might to suppress any challenge to their authority. Just as they did to us, the scaled diplomat said bitterly. When our people developed new forms of energy technology, they'd forced us to stop. Said it was destabilizing to the Galactic Order. Other diplomats nodded in agreement. Each had similar stories. Their species' progress held back by Council restrictions, their innovations suppressed, their growth controlled. We offer a different path, Reed said. The Terran Empire doesn't seek to rule the galaxy. We want to build something new, an alliance of equals, where innovation is celebrated, not feared. He brought up new images, human research stations, shipyards, colonies. Everything we've built, every advancement we've made, we're willing to share with allies who stand with us. Not as subjects, but as partners. The room fell silent as the diplomats exchanged glances. Finally, Traal spoke again. What exactly are you proposing, Ambassador? When the Council fleet attacks, they'll follow their ancient battle plans. They'll expect to face us alone. Reed smiled. Instead, we want them to find their own members turning against them. We need intelligence about their movements, their plans, their weak points. That's treason against the Council, one diplomat whispered. It's freedom from the Council, Reed corrected. A chance to break the chains they've placed on all our species' advancement. The scaled diplomat leaned forward. If we help you, and you fail, we won't fail. Reed's voice carried absolute conviction. Humanity has spent its entire history breaking free of limitations others placed on us. We fought our way up from caves, reached for the stars, and now we'll reshape the galaxy. The only question is, will your people help us build something new, or remain bound by something ancient? One by one, the diplomats signaled their agreement. As they left the office, each carried encrypted quantum communicators, human technology that the Council couldn't detect or intercept. Reed sent a coded message to Admiral Stone. Phase 2 complete. Friendly eyes are now watching every major Council installation. They won't be able to move their fleet without us knowing. He looked out at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, the Council was gathering its forces, completely unaware that their own member species were now working against them. Time to show them, he murmured, that the future belongs to those who dare to grasp it. Admiral Stone stood on the bridge of her flagship, the TDS Thunderbolt, as 5,000 Council warships entered the Sol system. The massive alien fleet filled the tactical display with red dots, their formations spreading across space like an approaching storm. All Ghost Fleet units report ready, her tactical officer announced. Quantum scramblers are charged and synchronized. Stone nodded, her silver hair gleaming under the bridge lights. Send the signal to our allies. Operation Thunderbolt begins now. Across Council space, hidden human ships appeared near crucial communication relay stations. On dozens of Council worlds, the younger race's agents moved into position near key military installations. Everything was ready. The Council fleet's commander broadcast his message across all frequencies. This is High Admiral Bourne. Surrender now, and we will show mercy. Resist, and we will destroy every human settlement in this system. Stone allowed herself a small smile. Send our reply. Throughout the Council fleet, Every communication system suddenly erupted with static. Their quantum crystal networks, unchanged for thousands of years, fell silent all at once. Each ship found itself alone, cut off from command and control. Quantum scramblers operating at full power, the tactical officer reported. Their fleet is blind and deaf. Launch Phase 2, Stone ordered. The Ghost Fleet emerged from hiding. Not in one place, but everywhere at once. Phantom-class destroyers appeared between Council formation lines. Strike cruisers materialized behind their command ships. Human vessels, invisible until this moment, surrounded the Council fleet from all directions. All ships, weapons-free, Stone commanded. Show them what humanity can do. The space around Earth lit up with energy weapons and quantum torpedoes. Council ships, unable to coordinate their shields or return fire effectively, took heavy damage in the first seconds. Their ancient battle formations, designed to fight as one coordinated unit, fell apart without communications. On the tactical display, Stone watched Council ships turning to fight in all directions. Some fired blindly into space, others tried to retreat, only to find more human ships waiting for them. A few smarter commanders attempted to form smaller defensive groups, but without their quantum communications, they couldn't coordinate effectively. "Ma'am," her tactical officer called out, excitement in his voice. "Our allies are moving. Council defense stations across their territory are going dark. Their backup communication networks are being sabotaged." Reports flooded in from across the galaxy. The younger races, tired of Council control, had chosen their moment. Defense platforms suddenly lost power. Shield generators failed. Communication centers went offline. The Council's carefully maintained network of control was falling apart. "Council command ship located," announced the tactical officer. "They're trying to organize a breakthrough toward Jupiter." "Not today." Stone highlighted the target on her display. "All nearby units, focus fire. Let's end this." 12 human ships converged on the Council flagship. Their combined firepower overwhelmed its ancient shields in seconds. The massive vessel's engines died, leaving it drifting in space. "Council fleet is in full retreat," the tactical officer reported. 70% of their ships are disabled or destroyed. The rest are jumping out of the system in small groups. Stone opened a channel to all human ships. "Let them run. They'll spread the word of what happened here. How humanity didn't just fight back. We changed the rules of the game." The battle had lasted less than 30 minutes. The Council's mighty fleet, which had terrorized the galaxy for thousands of years, had been shattered by human innovation and determination. "Send word to Ambassador Reed," Stone ordered. "Tell him it's time for Phase 3. The Council will never recover from this defeat. Now we offer them a new way forward." She looked at the tactical display, where green dots representing human ships now outnumbered the remaining red Council vessels. Humanity hadn't just won a battle. They had changed the course of galactic history. 1 week after the Great Battle, the Council chambers on their capital world looked very different. The towering halls, once reserved for only the eldest races, now held representatives from every spacefaring species. Ambassador Reed stood at the central podium, facing the assembled delegates. The 5 surviving Council elders sat in their traditional seats, their proud bearing diminished by recent events. High Admiral Bourne, rescued from his crippled flagship, watched with crystalline features showing clear distress as Reed began to speak. For 5,000 years, Reed's voice carried through the chamber. The Council maintained what they called galactic stability. They achieved this by controlling other species, suppressing innovation, and ruling through fear of their superior technology. He paused, looking around the room. "That era ends today. But we're not here for revenge. Humanity doesn't seek to replace one form of tyranny with another." The holographic displays activated, showing images of the battle that had changed everything. Council ships disabled by human technology, their perfect formations scattered, their communications silenced. "We could destroy what remains of the Council fleet," Reed continued. We could dismantle your empire completely. Instead, we offer something different, a true federation of equals. New images appeared, technical schematics for human quantum drives, shield systems, and communication devices. The younger race's representatives leaned forward with obvious interest. Every species in this galaxy has something unique to offer. The Council forgot this truth. They saw difference as danger, innovation as threat. But humanity knows better. We survived on Earth because we learned to adapt, to change, to work together despite our differences. Reed pressed a button, and a new hologram appeared. Plans for a reorganized galactic government. Under this proposal, every spacefaring race will have an equal voice. Technology will be shared, not controlled. Innovation will be encouraged, not suppressed. The elder race's experience will be respected, but not allowed to dominate. Bourne rose from his seat, his crystalline form catching the light. You expect us to simply surrender our authority, after thousands of years? No, Reed replied calmly. We expect you to evolve, to grow, to join us in building something better than an empire of fear and control. The chamber erupted in discussion. Representatives of the younger races spoke openly for the first time in council history, their voices carrying hope and excitement. The elder races huddled together, whispering urgently. From her seat near the podium, Admiral Stone watched the proceedings with satisfaction. The quantum communicator on her wrist showed the positions of the Ghost Fleet, still deployed across council space. They wouldn't be needed today. Finally, Bourne stepped forward again. We have discussed your proposal. The elder races acknowledge that the old way can no longer continue. We will accept this new federation with conditions. Reed nodded. Name them. Our knowledge, gathered over millennia, must be preserved and respected. We will share it freely, but in return, we ask for a role in guiding how new technologies are implemented. Agreed, Reed said. Your wisdom combined with humanity's innovation and the younger race's fresh perspectives. Together, we'll reach heights none of us could achieve alone. The vote that followed was unanimous. For the first time in 5,000 years, the galaxy would have a truly democratic governing body. As the session ended, representatives from dozens of species approached Reed, eager to begin sharing ideas and technologies. Stone joined Reed as he left the chamber. Not bad for a species they wanted to confine to their home system, she said with a smile. Reed watched the sun setting over the capital city, its light reflecting off buildings that had stood for thousands of years. Humanity's greatest strength was never our technology, he replied. It was our ability to imagine a better future and our determination to make it real. Above them, ships from a dozen different species flew through the darkening sky, the first visible sign of a new age in galactic history, born from an ultimatum that had backfired spectacularly.